What if a single tweet had never been sent? What if the spark that ignited a financial revolution had never been struck? Imagine a world where the digital landscape remained untouched by the transformative power of cryptocurrency. This is the story of Hal Finney, a visionary who stood at the precipice of history, his fingers hovering over a keyboard, poised to change the world with just a few simple words. In the quiet depths of a January night in 2009, while most of the world slept, unaware of the seismic shift about to occur, Hal Finney sat bathed in the soft glow of his computer screen. The air was thick with possibility, charged with the electric potential of innovation. Hal's eyes, bright with anticipation, scanned lines of code that to most would appear as incomprehensible as ancient hieroglyphs. But to him, they were the building blocks of a new digital frontier. Hal was no ordinary programmer. He was a pioneer, a dreamer who saw beyond the constraints of traditional finance. In his mind's eye, he envisioned a world where borders dissolved, where financial freedom was not a privilege but a right. And in his hands, he held the key to unlocking this future: Bitcoin. As the first person to receive Bitcoin from its enigmatic creator, Satoshi Nakamoto, Hal stood alone in his belief. The weight of skepticism pressed down upon him, a chorus of doubters echoing in his ears. "It will never work," they said. "It's just a passing fad," they scoffed. But Hal knew better. He understood that great innovations often begin as whispers, dismissed by the many, championed by the few. With trembling fingers, Hal typed out a simple message: "Running Bitcoin." His heart raced as he hovered over the send button. In that moment, time seemed to stand still. The universe held its breath, waiting for the birth of a new era. Hal closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and clicked. And just like that, history began to unfold. The tweet rippled across the digital landscape, a pebble cast into the vast ocean of the internet. At first, its impact was barely perceptible. But like the butterfly effect, that tiny action set in motion a chain of events that would reshape the global financial system. As days turned into weeks and weeks into months, Bitcoin began to grow, slowly at first, then with increasing momentum. Hal watched with a mixture of awe and pride as his belief in the technology was vindicated. He saw the spark he had ignited grow into a roaring flame, illuminating the path to a decentralized future. But Hal's journey was not without its challenges. As Bitcoin gained traction, so too did the voices of opposition. Regulators circled like sharks, sensing a threat to the established order. Critics dismissed it as a bubble, a fleeting trend destined to burst. Yet through it all, Hal remained steadfast in his conviction. "Pioneers often don't see the results," he would say, his voice tinged with a bittersweet wisdom. "But they pave the way." These words became a mantra, not just for Hal, but for all those who dared to dream of a different kind of world. As the years passed, Hal's health began to fail. The cruel hand of fate had dealt him a devastating blow in the form of ALS. Yet even as his body weakened, his spirit remained unbreakable. From his wheelchair, he continued to champion the cause of Bitcoin, his passion burning as brightly as ever. In those quiet moments, when the pain subsided and the world fell away, Hal would reflect on the journey that had brought him to this point. He thought of the countless nights spent poring over code, the exhilaration of those early breakthroughs, the camaraderie of fellow believers. And he smiled, knowing that he had been part of something truly revolutionary. As Bitcoin's value soared and its influence spread, Hal's contribution to its success became increasingly clear. He had been there at the beginning, when it was nothing more than an idea, a fragile dream shared by a handful of visionaries. He had nurtured it, defended it, and helped it take its first tentative steps into the world. But Hal's legacy extended far beyond the realm of cryptocurrency. He had shown the world the power of unwavering belief, the importance of standing firm in the face of doubt and adversity. His journey was a testament to the human spirit's capacity for innovation and perseverance. In the years that followed, As Bitcoin became a household name and blockchain technology revolutionized industries across the globe, people would often wonder, what if Hal Finney hadn't run Bitcoin that first time? What if he had hesitated, doubted, or simply walked away? The answer, of course, is unknowable. But one thing is certain: the world would be a very different place. For in that moment, when Hal pressed send on that fateful tweet, he set in motion a chain of events that would reshape our understanding of money, value, and trust. Today, as we stand on the cusp of a new financial era, we owe a debt of gratitude to pioneers like Hal Finney. Their courage, their vision, and their unwavering belief in the power of technology to change the world have paved the way for the innovations we now take for granted. Hal's story serves as a reminder that great change often begins with small actions, that the seeds of revolution can be planted with a single tweet, a lone voice crying out in the digital wilderness. It teaches us that belief, when coupled with action, has the power to move mountains and reshape reality. As we look to the future, let us carry forward the spirit of Hal Finney. Let us embrace the unknown, challenge the status quo, and dare to dream of a better world. For in doing so, we honor not just Hal's memory, but the memory of all those who have dared to push the boundaries of what is possible. In the end, Hal Finney's legacy is not just Bitcoin or blockchain or any single technological innovation. It is the idea that with courage, conviction, and a willingness to take that first step, we can change the world. It is a legacy that lives on in every person who dares to believe in something bigger than themselves, who refuses to be silenced by doubt or deterred by obstacles. So the next time you find yourself standing at the crossroads of innovation, faced with the choice to act or to turn away, remember Hal Finney. Remember the power of a single action, a single belief, a single tweet, and ask yourself, what if I take this chance? What if I run my own version of Bitcoin? What if I become the pioneer of tomorrow's revolution? For in that moment, you too might change the course of history. You too might set in motion a chain of events that will reshape the world. And like Hal Finney, you might find that the greatest journey begins with the simplest of actions, the courage to believe, and the will to act on that belief.